Hey, Cassie, what is happening?
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Boy, but you're gonna have fun with me today. I'm sure
Okay,
of
let's
it.
tell everyone what just happened. So,
Well,
John and I,
hey,
John and I chatted a little bit before the show, and so he got on today and told me about something he tagged me in, and I had no idea. And as it turns out, John is doing better than I am at the advocacy, and I think
yeah, I'm getting thrown out. I mean, I'm
getting
really
thrown out.
catching up. I'm catching up on that find out, thrown out
I
type of
love
thing.
that.
It's maybe we
You
need
guys,
to change the name of the show because I'm a delinquent as well. So
that's fine.
yeah. So yeah, you know what? I'll just play the clip and then we'll explain it afterwards. So enjoy this fine
Wait, this is
2 minute
my
clip.
first. Yeah, this.
So I'm having a conversation with Ryan Mears, and then Carla Lopez comes over. Hi, Carla, how you doing? Didn't you think that was rude to interrupt my conversation with Ryan Mears?
Oh, I mean,
No.
I'll
Yeah.
ask you to step over here.
Now this guy. What's that?
I'm going to ask you to step over here. Come on.
Why am I stepping over here?
I don't want you harassing you.
I'm not harassing anybody. She came up and interrupted a conversation with Mears.
They showed up late. It was supposed to be from 11 to 1.
We
They
back
showed
up
up
and tell
late.
me who these people are. We need the players.
Oh, well, it's Carla. Well, I did find out that Carla Lopez, she's been with the
What
Democrat.
party? Okay, Democrats.
Oh, they're all Democrat. Anything you go down to the city is all Democrats. There's only
That's so disappointing. And guess what? It's just like how the Democrats want to treat their little outliers too. It's going to come to back to bite you guys because you're 50th in. Let me just say this: we are 50 out of 50 in voter turnout. That's not good for either party at all. Like at all, with a full stop at the end. So keep fucking around and finding out with freedom of speech. Now, John may have been twice as tall as her, but there was not anything threatening that he said. His tone wasn't even aggressive. He even asked the question in a way which was like, I want an answer because this happened. He even asked it in a calmer way than almost anyone else would go and do that if they've been. I mean, I certainly probably would never. No, I'm so upset. And who is the sheriff? Like, I just want his name. I do because
well,
that's.
I don't know what the guy's name is, but we have Forrestal. Forrestal is.
No, let me just talk about the sheriff because that's some bullshit. Shout out Madison County Sheriffs, hey, and the Carmel Police for my boys, and girls. But seriously, for a sheriff or for law enforcement to do that, you know, it reminds me of Fisher's Police Department, and there's 6 brown shirts who arrested my white boy hype boy for speaking at a library board meeting. That's not okay, motherfuckers. Sorry, I mean you don't. That's
Sometimes.
not okay. Here, I did it again. So you could, I mean, it's just not okay. And we are, and this is why if Trump wins, they will be emboldened to continue this. That they will be emboldened to continue this behavior on both sides. Because the Dems, I mean, they're not going to have to do, the Dems aren't going to have to do, I mean, they're definitely not going to have to say anything, you know? Because
Yeah, well, I tell you one thing: if I get elected, that ain't going to happen. I will hold them all accountable. I will not be that guy that's going to run and hide. I mean, I can't even get any response from these people. You can't even get any response.
You weren't yelling at her, and you weren't over talking her. I couldn't hear what she said, quite frankly.
She said the same thing. So I'll give you the scenario of what happened. So you saw Ryan Mears there at the start. He was the guy in the lighter colored shirt with his back to me. He wouldn't turn around to me anymore after that.
Oh my gosh, the spines of the Democrats, like really, the spines of the Democrats are softer than my child's spaghetti noodles. It's disgusting. Like, honestly, it's disgusting behavior. This is not, I just have to say it, John, and I know people are like, oh, John, did you hype up about the Democrats? He does, and guess what? If I found out about it from anyone else, I'd be just as hyped up. That's disgusting, because guess what that shows? The collusion in Fishers with the police department, and I'm not going to get into it, but I will after the election, with the mayor and with the GOP in Hamilton County, GOP men, is so deep. So you cannot tell me when someone gets up to speak at a library board meeting, said nothing threatening, they just didn't want him there because that's what he had done each time. And so, and it took 6 officers.
It's
right?
It's both sides. This is both sides doing
I'm
it.
just disgusted to see this because, like, it's hard for me to believe which is naive, that the Democrats in power really ultimately would do that. You're not representing the party. You should be embarrassed. You don't, and this is another thing. I'm going to say this, sorry, and I'm going to calm down, but
I probably should let you see it before the show because I knew it would get you.
Well, we're going to air this. I just want to mention this. What I think is really fucked up and at play here, and I'm just going to say it because I'm a very small woman, that you are a man confronting a woman, and by confronting, I don't want to put any tone to that. You just walked up and asked her a question. I don't mean, you did not move towards her. You didn't try to start talking over her. You would have had a conversation, and the fact that she would have, I'm just going to say it, the fact that she would have been okay with that sheriff coming over, because if it was me, right, and listen, with my personality, obviously, but if it was just like I don't know, okay, if it was me, and so,
you'd have been in jail.
I think it would have to come down to either me looking at the sheriff and being like, all right, we're done. I'm feeling some kind of way, like me give the go ahead, or I would have stopped law enforcement and be like, it's fine, we're talking, it's just let him. Not because I wanted to continue it, even if I was horrified by what the person was going to say. I'm so serious with freedom of speech. It has to be protected, or we are all done. And I don't know how much more I can say that. And so it is entirely disappointing to see that from our Democratic leaders. It is it's funny because I wanted to talk about my disappointment about something today, but to lend into that because it has to do with
I hijacked you. Yeah, so let me tell you this. Let me tell you this story before you saw the video. So I was, talking to Ryan Mears. He was out there walking around. He was standing there by himself. I thought I'm going to go ask him this question. So I was at a neighborhood meeting, and they had their crime prevention guy there, and he was giving out a sheet of for burglary and breaking into your cars, and he was like. He made it, the way he explained it was, it is our fault for having things. We shouldn't have anything. We shouldn't put anything in our car. We need to burglarize it. And I'm like, I sat there, I said, I can't take it. I said, why is it our fault for having stuff? Why can't the police protect our property as they're hired to do? And that's all I asked him. And he was a nice guy. He answered the question and that was good. Well, Ryan Mears, I didn't get to that point.
No, who answered that for you?
This was a crime reduction guy, Northeast District. That's his job, is to go out and explain this stuff.
Right, but is it?
I don't know if he's actually a police officer, but a spokesman for IMPD.
Okay, all right. I am so pissed. IMPD is great. Well, the guys that I met at the mall,
the guy was super nice. He was.
They are so sweet. They send the sweetest officers out for the kids, by the way. So just good.
Yeah, he was. They were. It's not their fault. It's the prosecutor's fault. The prosecutor will not prosecute these people for breaking in your car, stealing your catalytic converter, stealing your stuff out of your house. These people had 16 incidents in the last month in their neighborhood. This was at 16th and Keystone, Kennedy King Park neighborhood group, and it was sad. So that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask Ryan that question in a nice way, and then this Carla Lopez comes up, gets in my face, and says, "Oh, he needs to go talk to another constituent." And I'm like, and then stands there while he turns around. It's like it was orchestrated. It was orchestrated that she was protecting him.
You're like, I mean, come on, like they are so pissed. Someone's coming back again after their precious little. By the way, did everybody see at the DNC that Andre Carson got to announce? Now, this is the thing. If there are no other brown or black members that could have announced, I need to know that. That's the only reason it makes sense that he was the motherfucker that did it. I'm not kidding. And I say that because this is a person of color that will be the president, right? I would absolutely, like, if he was like, yeah, you're going to let the brown or black person have that, I got you. But if there's anyone else, right? But like, because that to me said John, I mean, it was annoying to me, but it was also like, wow, they really do care about John. Like,
this Carla Lopez. Carla Lopez was at the DNC. She's a wannabe, internet star too, and she's also just passed the bar and is now a deputy prosecutor. So this was all orchestrated.
She thinks she's hot shit. Oh, baby. Okay, that makes a lot.
I was mad. I was really upset.
That presentation by her it makes a lot of sense where she is in her life, and I don't care how old she is. She's not been on a professional stage yet with her career, or she would have never done that ever.
Well, she's trying to protect her boss. I get it, but
it doesn't matter. The boss should have PR people. This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. And I'm sorry for yelling. I'm not yelling at you. On both the Republican, I mean, I see stuff comes out on the Republican side. Like Micah is, you guys got to do damage control. But my point is this: inflammatory stuff where I'm just like, we don't. All right, maybe we don't have enough money in the party, so like get a PR and ad team. It is egregious. It's egregious. Oh.
Yeah, it is. It's become a hide and seek. It's hide and seek. If we hide, we don't have to explain it. We don't have to do it.
Again, during this election, as for Democrats, where we feel intimately that we are going to lose our democracy. So it's that kind of feeling. And I said this on my page, there's no point in playing defense. How dare you not be talking to the people? How dare you not get some balls and stand up? I just hit myself around.
Yeah, really.
But how dare you not, no, absolutely not. And if you struggle with that because you got put on a platform and I don't know how you got to politics if you can't talk to people and you can't do your little acts. But if you did, you need to have a team on board. Where is your PR? Who is your PR? Who is talking to these individuals and sitting down with them and being like, so when you get confronted, these are the steps. This is what we do, and this is where you call it, and you feel, unless you feel in threat.
They can't do it. These people are not being elected upon their merits. They're being elected upon their position in the party. And this is so Faith Kimbrell. She's another one. I wish I had this video. She's another one that you would really adore, Cassie. She is the recorder for Indianapolis.
Oh, she thinks she's a bad bitch too.
Oh no! Wait till you hear this story. Wait till.
Oh my goodness, they have not met HBIC.
I got stories. So Robert Hurst, he had the a food bodega up at.
Embarrass me, women. When you do stuff like this, you embarrass me, and you are further marginalizing the idea of feminism.
She's bowing to the party.
I want everyone, because John, I just want all of my viewers to read. What did I just say? They are marginalizing the idea of feminism. Now, for everyone that knows, feminism is not about women. It's not. It's about equality between the sexes. There are a lot of men that are feminists, so you can get triggered by that word, and you're just sounding ignorant if you do. They are marginalizing that. Yeah. Okay.
So both of these stories are that way because she felt like she had to go protect her boss, so she would be looked upon as a good soldier. It's like I want to climb my way. So this other one, Faith Kimbrell, she's a recorder. So she came up to me, she saw me, and I don't think she knew I was running for office, and definitely not against Andre Carson. So she says, "Oh, I remember you. You're the guy that helped Robert Hurst fix his window when it got smashed in up on 38th Street." I go, "Yeah, I am." And then I said, "Yeah, I'm running for the U.S. Congress against Andre." And then her whole tone changed. I said, "Hey, let's get a picture together." She goes, "No, I can't get it. And she I can't get a picture. Andre Carson will be mad if I get a picture with you.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate on two of your points, but keep going. I just want to write them down so I don't.
No, that's pretty much the story. And I was like, just very disappointed because before she knew that I was, I was all in her eyes. I was this saint for fixing this window for this guy. And then when she found out that I wanted to do more, like improve my community through running for office, now I'm the devil. And you got to go.
No, and it's wrong. And so this is where the Dems and or anyone, hold on.
Both Smarties.
Before I go, well, really, but we're talking about the Dems in this situation. Really where what's happening is this, and it's not right. And again, it's like people missing out on you, but you have, even I guess I'm getting good at it because all the confrontation I'm doing online, but even
yeah, I'm getting worse and you're getting better.
I understand, this is the idea. This is why I'm going to play devil's advocate, because I think I may know what they're thinking, right? Which is, and listen, I'm going to give them a whole bunch of credit that this is not probably what's going on. Okay, but I'm just saying.
Okay, we're going to speculate.
This is where I go. Well, this is where I go. So I'm not them, clearly, because I have empathy and morals. I'm just kidding. But you are a white man in the GOP in one of the very, very red states, and it honestly, to me, without knowing you, John, to me, if I didn't know you, I just will be honest. If a white man that identifies himself as being a Republican right now were to engage me or be in front of me, I would certainly I would want to shut that conversation down sooner. And the reason is not because I don't think I can debate them or I can't go tit for tat or answer their question. It's because you guys, and I want to be really serious about this. We don't think you're well. We don't think you are mentally and psychologically and emotionally and psychiatrically sometimes fit to even have a conversation. This is what's happening. Psychologically, people are giving more women passes because women are like weaker and calmer. And this is psychological, and giving these women who are like in this MAGA and in this kind of mindset like a pass, like, well, their husbands like force them or only and that's not true either. But they're getting a pass. White men right now, like, I don't know why they're so happy and confident to be identifying that way, quite frankly. And so from that standpoint, I don't think she shut it down the right way because the sheriff, that's where I think it was effed up. I think she
it was orchestrated.
She should have used, no, listen, this is what you do. Because they're like, oh, what have you done? I'll tell you what you do. I say it out loud. You continue the conversation. The sheriff, this would have been appropriate. The sheriff come and stand beside you. Absolutely, sheriff. Absolutely. You don't know him, and you have the duty to absolutely.
Well, they knew who
but
I was.
The minute you say something that and remove him is where you've now infringed on his rights in front of a politician, and that's on camera now. So you actually made the politician look worse. You didn't even give her an opportunity. Not that she was going to stop you, but he didn't give her an opportunity. He just thought he was going to be a hard ass, which is bullshit. And how
he pushed me out. I mean, he literally pushed me out.
He's so gross. He's toxic asshole.
Oh,
that was the only thing I can think of where, and again, in this specific situation, it's not applicable because a lot of them do know you. A lot of them have seen how you behave, and they know you're not going to physically threaten someone, and they know all you're trying to do is be a big gorilla in your activism, which is great, and you're using your words. You've not had a history of violence. You've not had a history of like disparaging candidates in public and trying to no, you haven't. And so that's a real problem. That sheriff infringed on your rights, and what's her name allowed it to happen. Because I'm not kidding you, it would have been very uncomfortable, but I can honestly say if a sheriff came up while someone was trying to address me, even if it was a man that was 2 times taller than me, and he wasn't stepping forward and he wasn't raising his voice and he wasn't calling me names and he was talking about what happened, like the point, you can't get off on saying that. That was literally either one of them's going to have to take it. It's either the sheriff that did not even give her a chance, or it's she, or both.
It was her. I think she did some kind of signal, or somebody went and got him. I mean, it was orchestrated to be able to handle that stuff. My biggest thing is just take my phone call. At the very least, I'm a community leader. I mean, that's, you would think you'd want to talk to somebody that's going to influence pretty much the Southwest side. People listen to what I say.
About this, when you don't respond to people, then they're all this, not with you, but this is an example. Remember with the little riots the protests. When you ignore community members, and then a lot of people are coming to them, right? Because this is like in Madison County, a lot of people come to Catherine.
Right.
I mean, there are so many people that like know from different. When you ignore people in those kind of positions and you discredit what that kind of does, again, you're not going to do this, John, but then you risk that person feeding back to the community, and now you have many people upset, and then it gets to a point where they're marching down the street, and then it gets to a point where someone accidentally gets shot, and then it gets to a point where someone's child, it's like,
and all you could have
done is pick up the phone.
Talk to somebody.
On the phone, and it can be recorded too, boo. Go ahead and record us. So if I start cursing you out and blah, 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 then you have it. If I start acting a fool and I can control myself and I'm not a character on the phone with you, you have it. You can disparage. Now you can show everyone. But not being able to talk, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that's what people, and all of this could be avoided if you have a conversation with somebody. It's like the mayor, it's like any of these people, they will not talk. I have to go Shanghai them at the Democrat convention or somewhere else to just have a conversation, and then you get to find out and get thrown out.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But the other thing I wanted to say is this: what I would have maybe. I'm trying to think of how I would have reacted in her situation from what I saw. And the other thing that I may have said, if I was like really not wanting to do that, is I would have just said, as you asked your question, I'd been like, Thank you. I am happy to talk to you about this, but right now I'm in public with an event. I don't want to have any kind of potential, I don't know what the right word is, like, but I hear you, and I'd like to speak back to that. Do you have a time? Because then you're getting it recorded, like saying that's also appropriate.
Yeah, that's like, I want to talk to you.
And if you continue, then it's appropriate for the sheriff to ask you to leave because she is giving you her boundaries and had a follow-up, right? She could have also, this is another option. I don't want to talk to you. You need to leave. I mean, there's so many options, right? But that's what I'm saying.
I leave. I don't have any problem with that. It's like,
yeah,
I get
exactly.
it.
I know.
But she had no problem coming up and.
Who's behind this? Or do they just have these, like, does each one have like a campaign person and they like do their own individual thing? I don't understand. It's so discombobulated. Like even Carmel they did, like they all had different, I felt like, I mean, one would have like a really supportive gang and another like, kind of, and it had nothing to do with like the candidate. It was just like, where's the backing? Where's the consistency? Where is the planning? One thing that you could really do for being the 50th state and voting turnout is get some PR firms.
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, this is what happens when one party has a concentration of power. All those people down there are all Democrats, and all the people in the state are Republican. So you see how the natives are restless in every area. Now I could see it if everything was going just all peachy keen and all that. I could see it, but it's not. Our city is. We had 2 children shot this last week. A 3-year-old killed. And their dad, another one shot themselves with the gun somehow, and plus the other 12 murders that we had this week. It is, and then they just come down there.
That was my other point. My second point. Hold on, I gotta write it down. I don't want to forget it. That was my other. I was gonna give you one more because I'm gonna do this, but the police. So when you were talking to that officer from IMPD, and he was saying, or whoever was saying, your question was, why are we responsible when you're supposed to be doing it? My pushback to that would be, and I'm just going on stats, I don't know any numbers, but just like the teachers in the state, I feel like the police might in the state have a lot more important. I hate to say that.
That's what he said. That is one of the things he said.
They don't. So if that's the case, and they're getting through these high order. Again, I'm not saying that theft is
okay. So I'll push back on this. So up in Carmel, do you think that people get away with stuff in Carmel like they do in
Absolutely not. Well, listen, Carmel has a lot of money, and there are police everywhere. It's like New York City. It's like you see a police on every street. I mean, the NYPD. I don't know if the cops recognize me now, but I recognize them. I have seen, really the females. But a couple of the men, you see them and you're like, okay, it's just really sad. It
is. And we just need to take time to listen. And that's what, we always go to this towards the end of the show is like, we need to take time to listen to each other and to see through somebody else's lens. And I see you were looking through the lens of Carla Lopez and, and the sheriff and trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
but my message is if you don't want to have questions asked to you, then don't come in and insert yourself into the conversation.
And if you still do that and are being an asshole, Carla, right? You still, as any gender, at any time when someone comes to you and you don't want them in front of you, to please ask them if we could do it at a different time, which you would have totally been like, yeah, let's do it. I bet you would have been like, okay, I get that. You would have gotten that. Even if you would have been frustrated, I don't think you would have continued to badger her with questions.
No, I don't. I think
you would have gotten and you would have confirmed when or I guarantee if she's like, call, blah, blah, you'd be like, who can I ask for? You would have gotten like all of the,
Well, this is a hog set.
I'm not saying she had to like talk to you. That's not, I'm saying she doesn't know how to act. She's a politician out in her community. And like you said, your community leader, but even if you were one of the homeless people that walked up to her and wanted to speak to her, like that's why my church, I told you, the presentation is everything. I watch them so closely to see how they go between people, among people, in groups that they know and not know. And so that's
how you watch people.
This woman could not do that. She already messed it up. Right, like she was just
so rude. just so rude when she interrupted me. Just so rude.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to talk about that? Because I don't remember what you said.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, it just was, I was in mid-sentence and she just said, I don't mean to interrupt, but I mean, just stepped right. It was rude is the only, my mom would say. Yeah, it was calculated.
And this is the thing.
And I didn't know she was a deputy prosecutor at the time.
She thinks she's a bad bitch. I'm going to tell you why. Because she thinks that, like, you know, she wants sick of her boss or whatever, but she's a tiny little woman like I am, and she thinks she is the shit. Hey, it's very obvious. If you're gonna go, no, listen, because I'm telling you,
I'm a little scared of you, Cassie. By the way,
I'm telling you, I'm just kidding, but I'm telling you something. For someone like I don't know, and I don't know her personality. I kind of feel like I do, but and she wouldn't.
She's trying to make her way, and she's trying to, and that's what that party expects.
She's disloyal to the people that she serves. She's disloyal.
It doesn't matter. She's loyal to herself.
That's what I'm saying. Ugh, gross, girl. I mean, listen, you're getting called out, and if I need to stick on your name, I will. So don't do some more shit like this. I'm not kidding. The Democratic Party is gonna fuck around and find out. They have no idea. Listen, this is what I have to say, and we can end it on this. And sorry, viewers, John and I
got you today, didn't I, Cass? I should have showed you the clip earlier, but I wanted to see it fired up today.
No. I mean, it was just by chance that I didn't get it because I'm not getting tagged on, and that might be a Facebook thing. But this is the thing: the Democratic Party to win nationally. Let's pop it nationally, okay? Really quickly. And this is also going to go for if we're, you know, there's a chance that there could be like a blue wave, right? I get it. It's unlikely in Indiana, right? I hear all of that. I'm not trying to even talk about that. But what I'm saying is this: nationally, this is why I don't like when you're ignoring people like us in either party. And that's because we technically are undecided. We are both, right? That's what we are. We are third party right now. I'm not saying, well, let me not speak for you. I'm third party right now. If they do not get third party voters in the Democratic Party to vote for Kamala in Michigan, and I believe they
in Pennsylvania, big time.
I think it's one. There's another M.
Oh, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia.
I know. But they've even what we're hearing is like the where we're in jeopardy, right? Because the other ones, I think it's is Michigan and Minnesota, and that means you lose the presidency, Democrat.
Right.
So you might want to stop instigating, because that's what she did. She instigated now. That was not her. Then guess what she's going to do? Because she's going to gaslight like a little brat. I know it. And I don't mean brat like that's brat. No, like you're a brat. You're a little brat. Because guess what she's going to do? She will gaslight and be like, well, he was intimidating. That's one. Or
I'm crazy. He's crazy.
Like that. But I mean, I just want to think. I totally forgot. I mean, it's not easy for you because right now a lot of people are thinking about white GOP men this way. And again, I know all the people in comments like, no, they're not. You're crazy. Listen, they are. Like the people that I talk to, they are. But I don't think if you want to be consistent on how you're talking to people and how you're serving people and how you're treating people, then you cannot, when a white man in the GOP is trying to speak to you as a human, we laid out all these options. I mean, you don't have to talk to him, but there's a lot of other ways as a politician in his state, knowing who he is, you know who he is. And we established that because you came and put your body in between him and who he was speaking to because you think you're a bad bitch. You don't know. I'm so angry at her.
I was going to go down there and talk to Hogsett, but he didn't show up. He didn't even show up to the thing.
What about the Andre Carson thing? Like, weren't you going to see him?
He's ignoring us, which is what they're going to do. I mean, if he's got all the votes that he thinks he needs, he's going to ignore me. So Cassie, what's on your mind for next week?
So we are still gonna have Kristen Watson come on, but I'm delaying her episode, and she's my friend who grew up in the independent fundamentalist Baptist cult as a child and is now excommunicated from there. So she'll be coming on to talk to us about that.
Well, we'll see you again next week, folks. Tuesday at 8 for another exciting. Let's see what I can do to get Cassie fired up next week.
I apologize. I'm like I went a little wild there, but I mean, listen, that's what it is. That's my initial reaction. I think it's foul. I don't like, yeah. So
on the find out, sometimes we freak out. The find out sometimes freaks out. So there you go.
Thanks, John. I appreciate you.
All right. See y'all next week.